This is a prepaid call from Broken to Redemption. Yeah, that's my squad.
Was all a dream. When I was dead broke, man, I couldn't picture them.
Oh God, I need you to get me out again, God. I'm locked up behind these walls again, God. I got these chains, I'm shackled from my hands to my feet. If you get me out this one more time, God, I promise.
Broken to redemption.
Inmate at the county correctional facility. All phone calls are subject to recording and monitoring. To decline this call, press 9 now, and to accept this call, press 1 now. Thank you.
Your call has been accepted. It was all a dream.
Broken to.
Yo, welcome back to another episode of Broken to Redemption podcast. I am your host, Brandon Scotto. I have Frankie coming in from Modesto, California, going to share about his story. What's up, brother? How are you?
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Good. You know, just doing the damn thing.
That's right.
So how old are you, brother?
I'm 36. Just turned 36 this month or last month.
Okay, nice. And what's your clean date?
My clean date is March 10th of 2025.
Okay, nice.
Almost
And
getting to that year mark.
yeah, almost, bro. Good job. The first year is probably the hardest.
That's what they say, but for me, for some reason, it seems like this time around getting clean, it hasn't been hard.
Right, because you really want it.
Yep.
That makes sense. So go ahead and give us a rundown of your childhood, man. Like what it was like growing up, like how you got into drugs and where the drugs took you, man.
Okay, well, first off, I was born in Salinas. Mom and dad were both heroin addicts. So dad went to prison. Don't remember him as a child. Mom went to prison. So my grandma took us, me and my 4 siblings, and she had 2 other kids that were given to her that she was trying to keep all. So we grew up homeless, man. Like we were like a lot of homelessness. My mom was in prison, so grandma had her husband, 3 dogs, 2 other kids, my mom's 5 kids, and we were living in a car, man. We living at campgrounds, rest areas, jumping in dumpsters to get recyclables out, and just grew up that way, man, living at motels. And I would say I started getting into drugs like around 13 years old, man. Going through that type of lifestyle here and there. Mom got out of prison. Dad was still in prison, so it was my mom and grandma raising us, and mom was still an addict. She just didn't use heroin. She would just use meth now, which, being around that, I started smoking weed, hanging out with the fellas from the hood, and smoking weed and drinking, and then it just progressed, man. I started doing coke. And then from coke, I started getting incarcerated in and out of juvenile hall. Went to CYA, got out right about 19. Then when I turned 20, I tried meth. And once I tried meth, I didn't want to do anything else, man. And it took control of my whole life, like everything, every aspect of it. Like that's all I wanted to do was get high. And ended up back in prison again. Not a few months later, got out a couple years after that. Went straight back to it, man. Went straight to the drugs. And that continued the cycle, man. I would run the streets, I would get high consistently, and then I had my son at 24. That was 2014, and that's the first time I put a needle in my arm. He wasn't even a month old. I started slamming dope. I was selling a lot of dope, and then I started slamming it. After the first needle in my arm, not even 3 months later, not even 3 days later, actually, I was back to prison. And then it just continued, man. Like drugs, I got out, went with my baby's mom. We bought a home, and I tried to stay away from the drugs. And as long as I stayed away from the drugs, I was okay. But then I couldn't stay away from it long, man. And then I started using, slamming again. Then we split up, lost my son, ended up in and out of relationships. Then 2017, man, that's when I lost everything. Like I lost the place I was at. I just got my car towed, and I was homeless as an adult for the first time. And I didn't like I remember that feeling. I remember going through my phone and looking at it and seeing all these contacts and knowing there was no one that I can call. And that I was like my drugs had took me to the streets. And I ended up starting to stay by a river just on the streets. That first night I slept behind Walmart because I didn't feel safe anywhere. I didn't know how to be out there, man. Like as a kid, being homeless like that, it wasn't my control. You know, my grandma told us where we were gonna sleep. This is you're gonna go to bed. You're going to bed here. You're gonna do this, and this time it was up to me, and I didn't know how to do it, brother. Like I remember crying. I remember hating God, not believing in God, like not knowing what to do. Ended up sleeping behind Walmart, and that was my first time in 2017. I checked myself into rehab because I knew I had a problem, and that I thought I had it. I sincerely did. My first time in rehab, I felt the fire of recovery, and I thought I'm gonna get out. I'm never gonna use again. But then reality hit me. I was like in a bubble. I was hidden from all the problems in the world, bro. Like, and they don't tell you that. You know, everything seems good in there. You're protected. There's no drugs. They get you on fire, and then as soon as you get out, the reality of the world hits you. Everything that I had damaged was still damaged out there. Just because I went to rehab for a few months didn't fix anything. And I got out within 3 days. I had a needle in my arm, and there I was back at it, man. And that just went on for a couple long years, bro. Like pushing, I stole from every family member. Growing up, there was a lot of physical abuse. There was sexual abuse inside of my family, you know, and it distorted my thinking for a lot of years. You know what I'm saying? Where I had did a lot of things wrong, a lot of things were done wrong to me, and I had pushed a lot of people away, brother. Like there wasn't a family member that I don't think I stole from. That I honest sister, brother, aunts, uncles, like I stole from everybody. And but growing up, like I remember being in third grade and we were so broke and poor that my grandma had sent us kids as children to go into a house and burglarize it and bring the stuff home. Like things like that were common, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, in my way of thinking growing up, if you needed something, you stole it. You know, I didn't realize that stealing was something wrong. Like, so breaking into houses growing up, you know, stealing cars, all that was normalized for me. Like my mind was like, this is normal. This is what normal people do. You know, my the people raising me are teaching me this. And then at one point, my grandma was my getaway driver when I would burglarize homes, you know, like, and I don't hold anything against them. I feel that they did the best that they knew how to raise us. And it didn't take me till I was older to realize, like, dang, we were raised wrongly. Like how we were grew up was not normal. We should not have been raised that way. And it's you know, rest in peace, mom and grandma, but they did not do a good job with us. And it's not they really didn't have much to go with. And I love them to death, and they did love us. And but I mean, the only time I really felt sincerely loved and seen by everybody was when I was incarcerated. And I remember that feeling when I went to juvenile hall for the first time, you know, getting letters from my sisters. You get me that I thought hated me. You get me mom visiting me every visit day. And that's honestly when I felt the most love. And it just normalized it, and getting locked up was not a problem. I felt like, okay, let's go. Let's do this. And when I was a teenager, I never thought I'd live to be 18, let alone 36, man. Like, so I lived that way. Like, I was allowed to have guns as a teenager in the house. Like, you know, that's not normal. You know, 14 years
No.
old, having pistols in the house, man, jumping on my bike, grabbing my guns, having a shotgun between the cushions in the living room. That's not normal. You know, but to me, that was normal. Like I was able to come home and pull out my new gun and show it to my mom, and she check it out like, oh, this is a nice gun, you know, like but she would never touch it without gloves on. Like, she knew that much.
Yeah.
She did. She honestly did. She honestly would put on gloves every time before she touched one of my guns, and it was just normalized, man. It was and then a lot of abuse. My grandma used to physically whoop us, man. Like, she would. My grandma was my mom never put a hand on me, but my grandma, she would, verbally and physically abuse us, man. And she changed as age came on, but when we were younger, we used to get beat. Like, I remember having to lie at school. I'm not saying we weren't bad kids, but no kid deserves to get beat, and a lot of that messed us up, man. Like, and it's and then there's things that I'm not gonna really put out there, but that happened that no one ever talked about. You get me?
Yeah.
Like, and it screwed a lot of stuff up. Like, and that's just being real. Like, a lot of things happen where in our family it was just don't talk about it. Act like it didn't happen. And so that's what we did, and once I got involved in the neighborhood, that was my escape. I felt safe, I felt welcomed, I felt seen. I felt like they were my family, and that's what I put everything into for the longest time till I got on drugs real bad and they turned their back on me just like everything else. And then I used drugs all the way. I went back to slamming. I did that from 2017 to 19. I just kept being homeless, using drugs. I ended up on the side of a river in Modesto, man, like with the needle in my arm, and I got busted for stealing a bottle from Rite Aid, and I fought 3 strikes. Like, I couldn't believe it. I was off parole. I walked out of the store with a $13.95 bottle, and they charged me with a strong arm robbery, which made it a 3-strike case, and I was facing 30 something to life, and that still didn't stop me from using. I was using in
welcome
the jail.
welcome to California, huh?
You're not lying. You're not
No,
lying. I
man.
couldn't believe it. I was baffled by it. Like, I was like, and their first deal from the 3 strikes committee was 12 years. And I said, you're tripping. There's no way I'm taking 12 years, man. Like, you're nuts. And
Yeah.
so I fought it for 2 years, and I'm getting high in there. That still didn't stop my addiction. I'm getting high in there. And I ended up taking 7 years in 2021, or the end of 2020. I ended up taking a deal. They finally came down to 7 years, and I took it.
Damn.
And yeah, yep, for a $13.95 bottle of alcohol, man. And it's I ended up getting married to my ex at that time, and that was just a toxic relationship, in addiction that I should have never continued. And I tried to. So I go to prison for 7 years, and it's back at it, man. Back nothing changes in there. Prison's prison, man. I don't know if you've been to prison, but prison's prison.
Oh
It's not a
yeah.
fun place.
I've been
It's
there 5 times.
no, it's not and
It's
I
not
ended up
Camp
getting a
Snoopy.
job. Yeah. So I ended up getting a job outside the gate in that prison I was at, and I start bringing in ounces and ounces of drugs. So there's no way I'm staying sober in there. And I literally got high up to about 3 days before I got out. My first drug test when I got out, I was dirty. That's how. Yeah. Yeah. And I
Hey,
told him, I was like, I was in there using.
when my last term I got out in 2020, my wife said that I came out more sucked up than when I went in. I told her it's
How
just
does that
burpees.
happen, man?
Yeah,
How
how does
does
that
that
happen?
happen? So I end up back in the streets. I start working, but I'm getting high, man. I end up getting kicked out of where I was staying at. I started staying with Yolanda, and I end up trying to fight her son, and that caused a conflict to where I moved out. I moved over there with my grandma, and when she was still alive, and then I'm getting high, and then I go to California. I go to Salinas, and I get put on the run. And I come back. A lot of things happen, man. I come back, get arrested, do my violation, and then I'm back in the streets, man. I get my jaw broken being in the wrong neighborhood. I get jumped, I get hit with something, I get my jaw broke, and I end up going to San Francisco. to a rehab, and then that's when my sister's like, you need to turn to God. And she goes, you've tried everything else, you need to turn to God. And she goes, do you have TikTok? And I'm like, no. So she sent me a link to join. I don't know if you know Brother Rich. He used to do a Bible study every morning on
Hmm.
TikTok, and I joined that, and there my walk with God went, and I've been clean ever since.
Amen. Heck
Yeah.
yeah. So, how did homelessness and abuse at such a young age shape the way you saw yourself in the world? Did you ever think it was
Worthless, man.
normal? Did you
No,
think
I
like,
did think it was normal. I did think it was normal for part of the time until about, I would say, junior high. Then I kind of knew it was not normal. That's when we were living in motels. I wouldn't invite none of my friends over. I wouldn't tell them where I lived, and then because I was embarrassed. I was extremely embarrassed, and what kid wants to tell their friend, hey, my whole family lives in a motel on
right?
the street where all the hookers and dope is at? No one wants to do that.
Yeah.
And so no, it was not. I used to think it was normal when I was younger, but when I got older, I knew it wasn't.
So, when you first walked into juvenile hall, like, what did you think? Like,
The first time I was scared.
okay,
I'm gonna be honest, and they told me to strip down, and so I stripped to my boxers, and then they told me to take my boxers off, and I was like, "Are you kidding me? Like, I gotta get naked?" And it was very degrading. I was scared. It was very degrading, embarrassing. And then, I was scared. I didn't know what to expect. And then I seen people I knew. And then once I seen that, then the fear went away. Okay, I got some homies here. I'm gonna be all right. And then they gave me kind of the lay down. And, once my mom came to visit me, and I seen the love and care that I was missing out there in the streets, it felt good. I was like, dang, they really care. Instead, because I was missing that. You do whatever you want in the streets, and you don't think they care. You
yeah.
don't see that care. And then when I was in there, I seen that they cared.
And then so from juvenile hall, you went to CYA, right?
Yep, at 16.
So, like, that's gladiator school, right? Like, that's
Yep,
straight. Those kids are with the business, and
yep.
so walking in there, was it scary at first too?
No,
No.
my older brother had went before me, and I was so entrenched in that lifestyle that I was ready to go. Like I already knew what to expect. I went with three other people from my neighborhood. We all went together. So I was just with that mentality, like, I'm gonna make a name for myself. Like, here I am finally. Like I was actually, by that point, I was excited to go to YA. And I know that doesn't make no sense, but I thought it would like up my rep. It would make me somebody bigger. Like, it's another notch on my belt. That's how I felt when I was going there.
Yeah, no, I get that because I went to juvenile hall at 12 years old, and when I walked in there, there were kids there like me that didn't have a mom and dad. You know what I mean? Like, so I felt at home, and I looked forward to going back. I look forward to going to county jail. I look forward to going to prison. Right? Like, that's not normal. Kids aren't supposed
No,
to think
nope,
that way, right? We're supposed to look forward to going outside, riding your bikes, and going to the beach or whatever, right? But like, we just played the hands that we were dealt, man, and like, at the same time, we wanted to play the game, so we had to get in survival mode. I
yep,
just shared at the school, like, a couple weeks ago. I was telling them that the difference between them and me is that they look forward to graduating from elementary to junior high to high school, right? I said, "I look forward from graduating from juvenile hall to county jail to prison." I told them,
and
"I
it's
wore the
fun.
handcuffs for you, so you guys don't
Yep,
have to."
and it's funny you say that because my mom would always make the comment, right? Like, I'd be like, "Man, I was in jail." She goes, "No, you weren't in jail. You never been to jail." And then finally, when I got out of CYA and I ended up in the county jail, I remember the first conversation I had with her. I said, "Now I could say I've been to jail."
Yeah.
And I was like, "What?" Like, that makes no sense, like, it really doesn't. It makes zero sense, man.
And
Yeah,
what a lot of people don't understand is that YA is way worse than
yep.
county jail and prison sometimes, man, because these kids are ruthless. Like, they're trying to make a name for themselves. So
Yep. I went.
they'll throw everything on the line.
Yeah, they will. And my thing is, I went in there. I was only supposed to do a year. I ended up maxing out and doing 2.5 years. I
Yeah,
caught
see?
all the max amount of time that I can get to where they couldn't even give me any more time. Like
Yeah.
I literally, and my mom would visit. She goes like, "What?" But this is the thing, also, right? My first visit, my mom and grandma came see me, and they had a bundle for me. I didn't ask for it. You give me. They had a bundle.
Yeah.
And I'm like, because like I said, my brother went before me, and that's what they were doing with him, and so it's just now it's me. And then I kind of tripped out because I'm from deep South Side Modesto. That's my neighborhood that I grew up in, and my brother's from there. And when he was there, I remember him I was there visiting, and we took a picture of him and two of his friends from the neighborhood. And then when I was there was me and two other people. It's just a different generation. And it
Yeah.
kind of like, as I got older and I thought about that, I said, that's not good. I said, it's just one generation after another doing the exact same thing. And that's sad, man. Like yeah, it's just, so having the bundle in there made it a lot harder too.
Yeah.
'Cause there's no rules there, man, and everybody
Right.
wants a piece. And so it was a
For
lot of
sure.
fighting. I remember the most fights I got in one day, one-on-one fights, was 4 back to back to back. Like, I fought one, we'd get take to the nurse's station, come back, I fight another one. I did that 4 times. They finally took me to the hole, and I was happy to go to the hole. I was like, "Cool," because I don't know how much more I got in me. I remember that, I was like, "I wanna go to the hole."
So do you have a younger brother after you or no?
No, I'm the youngest.
Okay. Oh, okay. So do you think that if you had a younger brother, do you think that the cycle would have continued?
To be honest, more than likely. The way I had thought, I would have raised him like that. I would have wanted him like that. I would have took him with me and been like, "What's up? Come on, come hang out with." I probably would have done that. The way my distorted thinking was and how brainwashed I was at that moment, yeah, it would have.
So you did multiple prison terms. What was going through your mind each time you went back? Or did you just kind of become like this is normal? You know what I mean? Like I know for me, like it once I get in the back of the cop car, like it's cool. This is what I chose. This is what I wanted. Right.
That's
The only thing I was
it did
really
become
stressed.
normal. It did
Yeah,
become
yeah.
normal. Once those cuffs hit me, my mindset wouldn't be on the streets anymore. The streets no longer mattered. When they put me in those cuffs, it was all about what I'm gonna do when I get in there. Thinking about what pod I'm gonna go to, what unit, who's my cellie gonna be, how long it's gonna take me to get through intake, because I was never able to bail out or get released. Like, that was never an option for me. So I knew once they put those cuffs on, I was gonna go sit down. And that's just what it was. So it became normal. And then it came kind of excited too when you would get in there. Like, for me at least, I would get in there and I would see people I've done time with. "What's up, homie? Woo, woo, woo. Here you go." They would show love, shoot me stuff, and there I go getting my workout routine on, and there it is, back to the same old drama, man. And
Yeah.
it became normal. It's just what it was. Besides the last term. The last term was probably the hardest. I did not enjoy one bit of it. That was the hardest one.
Why was it the hardest one?
Because I didn't, even though I was addicted to drugs, I wasn't doing anything that I felt would take me back to prison. I wasn't kicking in doors anymore. I wasn't robbing people. I wasn't stealing cars. Like, I would shoplift here and there, but other than that, I kept my nose clean because I had 2 strikes and I did not, and so me getting busted and charged with what I was charged with, it really, I thought, man, I'm gonna do a couple months county tops. And no, it ended up to a 7-year term. And I
So what
I
was there like an altercation when you got that bottle or no?
no,
Are you
no.
serious?
I'm on camera, everything. Like, it was I walked out the front door. The manager came out while I was trying to cut open the security top, right? That
Yeah.
they have on top of the bottle. And he's like, hey, we want our stuff back. And I'm like, I don't know. I kept walking away. I don't know what you're talking about. I said, I'm putting this away, stuck it in my pocket, and ran away. That's all that happened. He took
Wow.
the stand, said that's what happened. The video showed that, and they still rammed me, dude. And then that's how California is, though. I already
Yeah.
know it. They seen somebody who can't bail out, can't afford a lawyer, like I mean, come on. Got your record so long, like that's easy come up.
Yeah.
And then they
That's
kept
so
me in the county fighting it for almost 2 years, to where when they offered the 7, finally, I was like, I'll take it. I don't want to be in this county jail no more. I want to go to
right.
state. Let's
Yeah,
get out of here.
they wear you down.
Yep.
That's crazy. So what was life like living by the river with a needle in your arm?
It was depression. I was lonely. It was horrible. But I was so ashamed of myself that's where I would stay at. Like I didn't want to go in public. The only time I went to public was to get money, to get more drugs, maybe something to eat real quick, and a pack of cigarettes, man. That's and once I had that, I was back down there. I tried committing suicide twice, man. Like being that way, like it's there was hope. It was hopeless. Plain and simple, it was hopeless. Like it was it was dark, and then you see a lot of dark stuff. Because I was the only one down there on that river. You see a lot of and you can't really get involved. It's not your, it's not your place. You see women getting taken advantage of. You see people getting beat up and robbed. You see people getting hurt, and it's a dark, demonic place down there. Like, and I mean that with all sincerity. You go down there, and it's weird because no cops in Modesto really go down there, bro. As long as you're out of public sight, they don't care what's going on. But
Wow.
if the homeless go up and go to the park, and we're at the park, a group of us getting high, or just at the park, they'll run in there and run you out that park. But they will not go down those rivers unless they're going to do like a run or something. Then they just go and clear everybody out so the marathon people could go by. If it's not nothing for the public, they don't care about nobody down there, bro. And it's I remember falling asleep to hearing this woman screaming like somebody was murdering her. And I thought I was having a dream, but it wasn't a dream, bro. Like it was something like it's demonic down there.
Damn.
It's ugly.
Did you ever feel like you hit rock bottom, or did it just feel like you kept going lower and lower?
Yeah, it felt like I was on my rock bottom, but I didn't know how. I remember when I felt I came out of the river and I looked at myself and I started crying. And that was when I ended up checking myself into rehab. I seen the holes in my clothes, I seen the dirt and grime on my skin, and I broke down crying like what are you doing? And so I checked myself into rehab, and like I said, it didn't work, and I battled. I went to rehab like 5, 6, probably like 8 times, man. In and out, and it never worked. I was getting high at the sober living. But that's when I got smarter each time, man, that a lot of those places, they're not there to help. It's a
No, they just want the
revolving
money.
circle.
Yeah.
Like it's like the first place I went to, they had contracts with sober livings. So you would go in there, they'd get you clean, they would send you to the place they had the contract with, and then if you relapse, you get kicked out of there, go back to it was just filling beds. Like
That's
it
it.
wasn't, yeah, they didn't care about helping. And I realized that. I was like, how do you want me to get out, go to this sober living, be at your classes 5 days a week for 4 hours? How am I supposed to find a job that way that works around that? How am I supposed to, and then how am I supposed to even get money to come to these classes with no transportation, no bus pass? Like I started realizing these things, and I was like, they're making it dang near impossible to accomplish what they want you to accomplish. And it's and for me, I felt the reason why was to relapse people, to keep them in
Yeah.
there. Like I can't say for sure, but to me that's what it seemed like.
No, a lot of them will do that just to keep getting that insurance money.
Yeah.
Can you describe the moment when you finally submitted to God?
It was I was in the rehab in San Francisco, and I joined that Bible study, and I started listening. And then right after, I remember falling to my knees where no one could see me at that. I went somewhere private, and I fell to my knees, and I started praying, and I felt his presence again. And once I felt his presence, it was it was amazing. I realized how empty and alone I was without his presence. And that's what I have been craving for and looking for in all these drugs and everything else out there in the world, was his presence. And dude, in sense, I have not wanted to use, I have not had a craving. I have not wanted to, I've walked by people smoking, slamming, and I've been in the bars where there's an open bar, and at a party, and I'm just playing pool, drinking water, and I'm not affected, no, like nothing. Like, and it's that's by the grace of God. That's not me. That's
Yep,
all glory and grace to God, because that's not me.
for sure. So what did freedom feel like after so many years in chains?
It felt like how
Sort
do
of
you
like
explain freedom?
like it would be like a new life, right? Because we both started young, right?
Yep.
Living that life. So we never really knew what freedom was.
No, of
So
course
it's
not.
like pretty much like a whole new life. Like you're being
Yep.
reborn, like literally.
So for me, it's I'm able to make choices on my own now. I have that freedom. Like nothing's controlled anymore. Like I have control of my life now. I control what I want to do. I control who's around me. I control what I let in my circle. The freedom from the chains of addiction, right? That leaves so much mental and emotional space to grow and do other things with. You know, I don't sit here fighting like I can't get high. I want to get high. I can't get high. And I remember those times. I would sit there like basically frozen because that inner battle's going on. Now I don't do that. Now I can sit there and love others and be a real friend to others. You get me? Like, I chair a meeting now every Monday night. I chair a NA meeting. You know, I go to NA events. I go to Bible study every Wednesday. I go to church every Sunday. I'm able to, if I promise somebody something, I do it. I'm free from that emotional and just numbness. I can actually open up and be somebody's friend, somebody's partner. You know, like I can be a good man to the woman I'm with now. Whereas before, I was just trying to take. And once you ran out, I was gone to find somebody else who had more to give, and I would take that. Now it's like I'm able to give, and that's what freedom's like for me.
So looking back now, what do you think God was preparing you for through all that pain?
I think he was preparing me exactly for this. You know, to be able to relate to other people, to be able to share my story and hopefully reach that one person that it'll help them not make the same struggles and go through the things that I've done. You know, and also it made me strong. It made me mentally, emotionally strong. Like, I am my spirit's strong, brother. Like, it takes a lot to break me now. Like, I done been through so much. Things will not break me just as easily. I'm very resilient. And it taught me also not to judge others. Like, when I'm in a certain place and I see somebody who's in that mind state I used to be, I feel for them. I pray for them. I'm like, okay, like, I see where they're at. I know where they're at, and it sucks that they're there. Because there was a moment in time where my mind state was so mangled that I wouldn't be doing this. I'd be laughing at you. And that's a fact. I'd be like, man, that's weak. You're
Yeah,
weak for doing that. Like, this, hold on, like, what? You know, and that's honest truth. And there's some people, you know what I'm talking about. You go and you try to preach to them or share with them, and they're going to be deaf and blind to whatever you're bringing them. And so I
right,
can understand and empathize with them, and maybe, you know, they could look at me and see, okay, he did it, somehow look at me and plant a seed. I don't know.
right. Yeah, exactly. It's all about planting those seeds.
Yeah.
So how has your past become part of your purpose today? I think you just answered that pretty much.
Yep.
You summed it all up, you know?
But what I do want to do is this first, I think next Saturday I'm going to do a H&I panel, because I want to start going into the rehabs, but you got to have a certain class you got to take. So next
Really?
Saturday I'm gonna do it. Yeah. So I got to do an H&I panel, the do's and don'ts, and then I'll be able to go into rehabs and hospitals, whatever, and share and try to help the people that are inside those rehabs.
Yeah,
That's
that's
always
what it's
been a
all
goal of mine,
about.
man, is to help people just like me.
Yeah. So when I started my whole Broken to Redemption thing, like at first all I got was rehabs to go speak at. And I'm not saying that I wasn't grateful for that, right? Because we're still helping people. But my dream was to get into schools, and like I told you a couple weeks ago, God made that happen. You know, he put me in a junior high school. I got to speak to these kids, and I can't wait to see what other doors are opening for that. I'm trying to get
And I
into
honestly
juvenile
feel
hall.
what you're doing, that's a smart thing to do. You want to get to the kids before they're in rehab. You want to
Yep.
stop it before it gets there.
Yeah.
Because I remember when those people came in juvenile hall and spoke. I
Yep.
would look at them as weak. I was too
Yeah.
late already.
Yeah.
My mentality was so gone already that I was you're weak, fool. You're a pussy.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're talking about. Even though they did know what they were talking about, they've been in my shoes. I was in a place where I wasn't teachable at that moment.
Yeah. Yeah. We were-
And so,
we had our eyes on a prize, and we
yep,
wanted to set out to do that.
yep. But see, my
So
whole
how?
family's there's not a man in my family I don't think that's been to prison. From uncles, cousins, at least locked up, or that's just how it is.
Right. Yeah. Some families are like that, and it's they plant that seed at a young age because they make it seem so cool, right? And
Well, they
even
do.
even the kids today that don't have like a family member that's been to jail, been to prison, or suffered from addiction, right? They have all this stuff on social media. They have all this music. They have all these rap videos where these dudes are just holding this cash. They got the scissor and they're, you know what I mean? It's enticing to these kids. They're driving
Yep.
Lamborghinis. They got all this. Oh, I want to be just like that. What do they do? Oh, well, the rap songs are talking about selling crack or going to prison. Like, is that how you get a Lamborghini? I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, ain't the way to get a
It
Lamborghini.
ain't. Yeah, it ain't the way to get a Lam. That thing's rented on the video.
I got a buddy of mine who's he was still out there living that lifestyle, and he got out of prison and he went right back to it. And I'll give it to him. He made a lot of money, but I was telling him like, dude, I gave my life to God. He understood, and we would talk. And I'm like, you got to stop, man. You got to stop. Now he's facing life in prison. His
Yeah,
brother hit me up a few months ago, like, hey, pray for him. Like, I'm like, hey, man, tell him to reach out. Tell him he's still loved and cared about. But if God gives him this chance, I mean, who wants to be sitting there in there for life? I honestly, and I thought about that. Like, but I don't do anything now. But if I was put in a situation where I was life in prison, I would kill myself, man. I would not want to live in
absolutely.
there. I would not
Yeah,
want to live in that place for the rest of my life. Like I've seen people doing it.
right,
I've seen how they become. I've been around a bunch of lifers, and I just can't. I can't do it.
right.
I would
Yeah,
not
me
want to do
neither.
that. It's not a life for me, brother.
Nope. Same, man. That's why it's very important. But it's like California is so messed up with the laws, right? Like, even if something's happening to your family and you protect them and you take their lives, guess what? Like, it's a messed up state we live in. Like, I'm protecting my
That's why I
family.
moved, man. Not why
Yeah.
I moved, but Arizona's been good to me, and I
Okay.
cannot lie. Like it's been. I'm not where I want to be. I stay in my friend's garage right now, right? But I'm clean and I'm happy.
Yeah.
And I'm progressing, I'm moving forward. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's I came out here to be with some chick, and that didn't work out, and everybody thought I was gonna go back to using. My whole family did, bro. I stayed strong. I stayed and it was the people I've met out here that have kept me strong, dude, that were like, no, you're not going back to California. We'll figure this out together. And see, the people I surround myself with, we go to church together. We go to NA together. We go to Bible study together. I have a sponsor. I work my steps. I'm of service. Like I talk to my son every day. It had been what 8, 9 years before I talked to him, and first time I seen him, I was loaded. I went to his football game loaded, bro. Like what? Like what's wrong with me? And I may not get along with his mom, but me and him. We have a strong relationship. And his mom threatened to block me maybe a week ago, and he told me straight, he goes, "Dad, I love you. I'll just unblock you." And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "That's my boy."
Yeah, I got in contact with my son after 15 years.
How'd that go?
Great. We're building a relationship right now. I haven't met him yet. He lives in Oklahoma, but
Okay.
this year he's gonna plan to come out and we're gonna go to Idaho, Yellowstone, and all that.
Nice. That's what
Yeah.
I'm talking about. And that's the beauty of it, right? God has I got a woman in my life now that I can be myself with. That has 18, she just celebrated 18 months clean. She went through a lot. So she knows what I've went through, right? And I can actually be myself with her. And it's and I don't know what God's purpose is, but he brings these people in my life to bring just joy. Brings lots of just joy, man. Like I got a good job where it's building into a career. You know, I've never worked in the car industry in my life, and I work at a collision shop now. Been there for almost 7 months, bro. And it's I've already moved up to parts manager. I just learned last week how to calibrate the sensors on the cars. This month I'm going out to learn how to do glass on cars. All paid for. It's all
Damn.
paid for, you know, and I'm like what? Like
Yeah.
like God, what do you do? And that's the first job I was gonna work at McDonald's.
Yeah.
And then I went to Bible study with the guy from NA, and comes to find out he owns 2 body shops. And he's
Perfect.
like, "Nah, come work for me." And I was like, "I don't know anything about that." He's like, "It's all right, we'll train you." All right, let's do it. And so that's God.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So if you could talk to your 16-year-old self going to CYA, what would you tell him?
What would I tell my 16-year-old self? Dude, that's a rough one. That's a hard question. What would I tell my that he's loved? That he's loved, and there's more out there than just that neighborhood, and there's more out there to life than what I had seen. Because at 16 years old, my whole world was a neighborhood. Anything outside that neighborhood I didn't think I needed. I didn't want anything to do with, and the world's a big place. And so I would tell him to turn to God, to submit, surrender, and it's okay to hurt. It's okay to have pain. It's okay to let that pain out. Because at that age, there's no way I would have told you half the things I already told you right now. Like I wouldn't have spoke on none of that. And it's I think that's what kept me in there so long, was not being able to share those things, not being able to process it and move forward from it.
So what does redemption look like for you today?
It looks like I can call my siblings now and they'll answer. It looks like I got real people in my life that care about me. It looks there's hope. If I could sum it up in word, hope. Hope, man. Like I have hope when I don't wake up regretting waking up. I wake up ready for another day to push forward. There's hope in my life now. There's hope that I'm gonna keep moving forward. There's hope for a future. There's hope that I'm gonna be able to see my son again. You get me, like in person. I did
Yeah.
fly out there to see him once, and being in a different state, not being as stable as I want to be, is kind of hard just to fly out there at any time. But there's just hope. There's hope, man. Like I've done a lot of things to a lot of people, and my family's probably the ones I did the most to, and having them in my life, that's redemption. Being able to have their numbers, being able to call them and hear them tell me they love me and they're proud of me, that's redemption, brother. Like that to me is amazing. To have a woman who loves me, that I love, to have friends, not homies, I'm talking about friends who sincerely care and love me. Because my circle is small out here, but the circle I have, they love me. They love me, bro, and there's no doubt in my mind that they don't love me. You get me? Like, and there's no conditions on that love. I don't have to do anything for them. I don't have to ride for them. You get me? I don't have to do all that. Like, I just got to be me.
Right. Sometimes it's good to keep that circle small though, because then
Yeah.
you really have genuine people.
Yeah.
That's all you need. You don't need a big circle.
I don't want a big circle.
Yeah, no.
Like, I honestly don't want a big circle anymore. Not anymore. It's like my close friends consist of about 3 guys. You get me? And I work with them. If I'm not home or with my girl on the weekends, I'm with them. You get me? Like, we go to like, and I like it that way. And
Yeah.
it to me, they're like, why do you do that? I'm like, dude, why not? Like I said, they love me and I love them and it's comfortable. Like, to me, that's perfect.
Was there ever a time Yolanda, like, turned her back on you, or no? Has she always been there tough for you?
Yolanda's, I wouldn't say she turned her back on me. She she just helping me was causing problems in her life. And so she had to step back. And at the time, I felt like she turned her back on me. At the time, I was angry. I'm not going to lie. Here I am living on the street. You got a house. You could let me
Right.
stay on that couch. You know, my brother, same thing. You got a house. You could let me stay there, you know, like, and I held this anger, like, you guys turned your back on me. I would never do that to you guys. And then I started getting clean. I had to realize, like, dude, I pushed them away. You know,
Yeah.
like, I got shot at in front of her house with the kids out front. You know, they put big 4, 5 big bullets in the back of my car, and, she told the cop I was trying to drive away drunk. They took me to jail. I was like, "Hey, you gonna take me to jail?" And I got shot at. You know, and, Yolanda was there tough. Yolanda's always been there. And I think part of that enabled me. You know, if I look back on it, part of it was Yolanda got me. If I get kicked out of my baby's mom's house, Yolanda's gonna let me stay there, you know, and until I figure it out, you know, and then she wasn't there like that. And she didn't, I wouldn't say she turned her back, but she had to protect herself and her family. And
Absolutely.
you know, and I realize that now. But every time I was locked up, she answered my phones. She would visit me if she could. She put money on my books when she could. Like, she Yolanda's a very strong woman in my family. Like, she held us all together when my mom passed away. Like, she took over that role and she didn't have to, and she still does. She's still there. Like, yeah, that's Yolanda.
Yeah, I met
She
her.
led
I
me to
met her.
God.
Yeah, I met her when we went out there to feed the homeless in November.
That's what she told me.
Yeah,
Like, she
yeah.
was
It's
the one that told.
I see, because I was talking to Jose for a little bit, and then he posted that thing on his social media, and God put it on my heart, and I told my wife, like, "Hey, we're gonna go to this." And I was like, so I messaged Jose, and I was like, "Hey, brother, I'll be there." And he's like, "Aren't you in Orange County?" "Yeah, I'm in Orange County." He goes, "That's a long drive." I said, "It's all right. It got put on my heart by God. I got to do it." Yeah, it was really good, really cool.
Like,
6
I
hours there.
haven't been back to Modesto since I've been clean. And, I almost went during the Christmas time, and I made up every excuse not to go because I felt I wasn't ready. Like, I don't know
Right,
how I'm gonna react yet being around that type of environment again. You know, like, I honestly
right.
don't. I miss my
Yeah,
family, but I'm smart enough now to not try to put myself in precarious situations, brother. Like, it's just that place has been no good for me. It just hasn't been. Like, I love my family there, cool, but, like, there's nothing there for me. There's just not, besides my family. You get me? There's nothing. I don't want to be around the streets out there. None of that. There's nothing there.
right.
There's nothing there, brother.
So what message do you want listeners to walk away from your with what message do you want listeners to walk away with from your story?
That you can try everything on your own to change your life, and it's not going to work. That you need God. That you honestly, God first. You know, like, rehab, school, work, all that's fine, but the one thing that's going to save you and help you is God. That is the key to everything, is God.
Man. Yeah, that was a very good story, bro. That's all the
Ah,
questions I got. That's all the
that's good,
questions.
brother.
That was
That's
really good.
good. I was nervous, man. I don't really know how to do this. Like it was can't lie, a little
Nah,
nervous.
the way you gotta look at it is, it's just like sharing at a meeting, right?
I really don't share at meetings.
Oh. Hey,
I'm one of
well,
those
you know
silent
what?
guys in there.
Y you're wanting to go speak in rehabs and in these places, so this is just exactly your story that you're gonna be telling over there, you know what I mean?
Perfect.
Same thing. It's versatile, you know what I mean? Podcasts, sharing at rehabs and all that, it's the same.
Perfect. All right.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, it's the same. You keep the story, and if you wanna add more NA stuff because it is out of rehab, right? Like, you add more NA stuff so they can, like, relate to it too.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because that's what they want, right? Because like me, I really don't I did AA. I did AA for 3 years, but I just couldn't connect to it, right? Like, I see all these other people connect to it, and I was like, "Oh, how do I get that? How do I get that?" I did the steps to the best of my abilities, I gave it to God, right? But I didn't have that completeness, like AA completeness, right? So I hung around for 3 years just to make sure that I was good before I went out into the world, right?
Yep.
But then it got to the point where I was angry and miserable all the time, and I was like, "Ah, that's not healthy." So that's when I started getting really close to God. My wife took me to church on Easter last year, and they had a motivational speaker there that lit a fire under me to do what I do today.
Brother, I went to it's called Life Surge. And I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's a Christian motivational speakers, a big thing that they did at Central Church or something right there in Henderson. And Tim Tebow spoke. You got the guy from Australia with no arms and legs. He spoke. That's the kind of stuff I love.
Yeah,
And it was all Christian, speakers. Tim Tebow preached, and it was I'm looking at these men of God, and I'm like, wow, like look how much joy this guy has with no arms and no legs.
right.
Full of joy, brother, just full of joy.
Yeah,
And I'm like, how? Like that, and that's what I have. Like I'm honestly a happy man. Like I'm happy now. Like I don't go, and I feel the same way you felt. Like I go to NA because I feel it has a purpose. You know what I'm saying? But my where I get my most joy out of is church, Bible study, and God. Like that's what keeps me fueled. And I've shared that. I'm like, NA's not what got me clean. God is. I've tried NA, I've tried rehab, none of that worked. When I submitted to God, and I've only been clean, let's see, it's a little over 10 months, and my whole life has changed around, my whole state, my job, everything. Like God is working miracles in my life, and I'm happy.
amen. Yeah, that's great. Do you have any questions for me?
What would you tell your 16-year-old self?
Man, buckle up, it's gonna be a wild ride, man. You know? Because, like, we have it in our mind at the young age that this is what we're gonna set out and do, right? So there's no use of trying to tell your 16-year-old self that don't go down this road, right? Because we're stubborn, right? We know what we want.
Yeah,
And just like you said, like in juvenile hall, we've had people come speak to us, right? And what do we say? Oh, you're a punk, you're weak, right? I don't want to
yeah.
listen to nothing you got, right? And then like we're stubborn, so it's like just hang on, buckle up. This is what you wanted. Now this is what's gonna happen.
Do you regret anything from your past to where you're at now?
Absolutely not. Because it made
Amen.
me who I am today,
Amen.
right? Because if I didn't go through every single thing that I went through, how am I gonna help the next man or the next kid today? Right? Like if I people with our types of stories can only help certain people that have lived that lifestyle too, or even to avoid it if they have an interest in it. So like our stories, our testimonies, our lived experience can help them if they want the help.
And you're going to the right place. Like
Yeah.
you sincerely are. Like that's amazing.
Yeah, right now I'm trying they already want me back at that same school, and then the guy who got me in reached out to another school, like a continuation school. So
That's
we're
where
just
they need it.
that's where they need it, huh?
That's where it is, because the continuation school, you got those kids who are starting to mess up
Yep.
just a little bit, but they haven't fully went to where they're gonna go if they continue doing those mistakes, man. And
Absolutely.
one of those kids might hear what you're saying and go, maybe I don't want to continue doing this.
When I was at that Saturday, it was a Saturday school I went to, right? So before we went to do that, we had a couple meetings, and so I told the dude, I was like, "Oh, so it's Saturday school, so these guys are already getting in trouble." He goes, not really." And I said, "Well, it's Saturday school." He goes, "No," he goes, "Some people miss a class and they want to make it up on a Saturday." And I was like, "What? You'll never catch me at school on a Saturday." But it was like there was a couple kids there that they were all totally engaged, right? Like super
Nice.
into it. And on the break, the dude asked one of the students like, "Hey, what'd you think?" And he was like, "No, that dude speaks facts. Like that dude speaks the truth." And they're already asking for me back.
Nice. There you go.
Yeah,
There you go.
that's where it all starts. Yep. Well, I appreciate you coming on, brother.
Appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna hit stop right now, and then we have to make sure it's all the way uploaded.
Okay.